Well, hi, Weekend the Tacklers. It's the Weekend the Tackle podcast, the podcast where we get together on a weekly basis and tackle things in the world of football that we thought were interesting. The main pod is a-coming. We are going to be talking at length about how absolutely useless Ruben Amorim was, how we've been proved right, and how Michael Carrick forever. That is all coming up. Plus, West Ham beat Tottenham, which is super funny. So we're going to talk about that on the main pod as well. But as our bonus for this week, we do want to talk about the AFCON Final. I'm Tom Rennie. Alongside me to go through it all is MLS legend and top broadcaster Brian Dunny Dunseth.
I'm fantastic, Rennie. I cannot believe the scenes that we saw at AFCON. And even better might be the scenes that we didn't see that came off on social media. And those that were actually in the Tribune / in the presser afterwards. What a disaster. I mean, like, just when I think humanity, I think even less of humanity. I watch what happens, what the result is, and ultimately, by the way, what an incredible goal to finish off that tournament. But ultimately, I'm still scratching my head trying to understand not just the actions, but maybe the justifications of those in charge to try to verbalize their way out of what has widely turned into a spectacle in every way, shape, or form.
So I just thought we could go through it here in our 10-minute bonus show, just like bit by bit, like the Zapruder film, and just go through it moment by moment, scene by scene, and just try and... I'll just throw things at you, and either feel free to say something on it or we'll go to the next bit, because there's always a next bit coming. But firstly, I'll just say, I didn't watch AFCON. I watched a few bits, and I saw some highlights, and like when someone scored or something notable happened, like I caught it in passing. But I didn't watch AFCON. With all apologies to our listeners in Africa, I know we have listeners that tune into the programme. The timings just weren't right. The Premier League is on. I've been too busy. I've not had the time. It's not a judgment on African football. I've just not had the time, okay? But I did watch the final. It's a final. It's a major final. I'm going to watch all the major finals. I've even occasionally watched the Super Bowl, and I'm led to believe either side of Prince, there was some sport, but I've got no way of knowing. So I will watch major events. So anyway, I had it on, but I was sort of like pausing it because I had things on. Anyway, I've gone outside to put the lasagna on, and my phone is blowing up, and I'm like, what's happened? Like, has Nuno got the sack? Like, what's happened here? And all my football threads are like, what is happening here? What is going on? So, first of all, let's start with the disallowed goal. There's a disallowed goal where Ashraf Hakimi jumps to the ground when a Senegalese player is challenging him. He wins the header, it ricochets back, and it's turned in the back of the net. This goal is disallowed. There is a long VAR check. And the behavior of all the players and the coaching staff is pretty bad in this moment. They're like surrounding everyone like a crowd. And like the referee watching the VAR camera is almost like a busker with a crowd at the station. And he turns around, disallows the goal. After he has disallowed it, the Senegalese fans in the stadium, bear in mind it's in Morocco, start to get deeply unsettled, and there's a sense of injustice. At that point, Dunny, it's so far so kind of accepted, a little bit beyond the realm of acceptability in terms of the player's behaviour, but it's not going wild as yet. So we'll just pause it there.
Yeah.
That's a goal, isn't it?
Well,
Are we doing VAR again? We're doing VAR again.
I know we're going to hit all these data points. And again, we're going to get into a deeper conversation about Diogo Dalot and what is the status of, well, if that was in Champions League, that would be a red card. The VAR would suggest the referee to go to the monitor, and that would hit the level of significance that would be a red card. But in the Premier League, we want a little bit more physicality, a little bit more rough and tumble, so that doesn't hit the level of interference. I watched all of these decisions, and some of them made complete sense, and other of the decisions were completely baffling. What I will say is wherever you fall in line with any of these conversations, the lack of control from a security standpoint, the lack of control from an emotional standpoint from the players. And again, this is a huge, huge title on the line for both of these countries, specific to Morocco with the success that they've had both at the national team level, the Olympic team level, the under 20 level, the under 17 level. Like, this is their time to shine. And the expectations were that they were going to beat Senegal. Senegal, upcoming opponent for the U.S. men's national team in Charlotte, I believe in late May. So a lot of U.S. fans had their eyes on this. I thought it was a goal, but inevitably, this is where we fall in line of step one of what
Yes.
feels like there was like 15 steps of absolute mayhem happening over the course of the evening.
So, like, it's one of those ones where it's disallowed. I disagree with it. I think it was a goal, but, like, fair enough, you move on.
Yeah.
Later in the game, there is a pull on the shoulder of a Moroccan player by West Ham fullback El Malik Diouf, and there is a slight pull on the shoulder. Now, again, I'm not too convinced about the kind of breakdown in this one. I can see this given as a penalty. You can convince me either way. It goes in that category for me. If it's given, I don't think you're going to overturn it, vice versa. But it's not about the penalty award. It's about what happens next. At that point, Senegal, their players, led by their coach, decide they've had enough of this. There's too much skullduggery going on. And I think they're fairly justified as well, considering things like the ball boys, which we'll get to, have been jumping on the field to steal the towel of the goalkeeper, and all sorts of other things going on. Like, it was not a hospitable environment for Senegal to play. There was no semblance of fair play here. There wasn't just like, we're going to take inch by inch of advantage. They were going to try and manipulate the playing field.
Dunsethery their way through this.
It was way behind Dunsethery.
I didn't know if I was offended or how much respect I had for it, but this was the most Dunsethery that I've ever seen a football match.
There's skullduggery, there's Dunsethery, and then there's f***ery. Sorry, Tim. And this was f***ery. Sorry, Tim. This went one too far.
Yeah.
So anyway, but then from both teams, so they're feeling hard done by. So at this point, after the spot kick's awarded, the Senegal fans start clashing with security in the crowd. You're like, oh dear, this is a problem. What's going on here? There's sort of white stools or something being thrown onto the field. Not quite sure what they were. At which point, the players walk off. Led by the coach, they all go down the tunnel, and it looks like Sadio Mane may or may not be trying to keep him on the field, but they've all gone into the tunnel.
You could tell he was not convinced. Yeah.
He was not convinced.
Yeah.
But, like, they've disappeared now, and so everyone's got to go. Some of the players have been posting on social media pictures of them in the dressing room. I've not got the quote in front of me now, but one of the players posted, like, they're out to get us. We're done. After a 17-minute delay, they then return. So before we get to the next bit, what was your view on this?
The moment that I saw the replay, the slow motion in the clearing header, I didn't think there was anything to it. But then I saw the two hands in the throw, and Brahim Diaz is a smaller guy anyways. And so the moment that I saw Diouf kind of like throw him and then win the header, I was like, oh, he's in big trouble. He's in big trouble. Like, they're going to send him to the monitor. And the moment that the referee indicated he was heading to the monitor, Sadio Mane comes up and confronts him, hand over mouth, and making sure that he understands exactly the complications in the moment, because effectively you are giving the game-winning goal, the game-winner opportunity from the penalty spot. The referee's surrounded. I can't even imagine being in that situation as the decision maker. And he allowed it to happen, and then was obviously asked to go over and take a look. Again, I thought it was a penalty on first look. Not surprised the referee points to the spot. But the moment that happens, and you see, even before, both managers, right? Both managers are kind of like jawing at each other, going back, flick of the hands, like, disgust, absolutely, hands over face, all those stuff. You knew it was going to go bad. And I could not believe that, and again, this is the boiling point. It's everything. You'll talk about the ball boys. You'll talk about, Mendy's towel because it's raining, trying to keep his gloves dry, trying to get a better touch on the ball, a little bit handling on the ball. This is just the continued escalation to a moment where Senegal effectively was like, nope, we're out. We're not having this. It's completely inappropriate that this is the direction that we're going. But I mean,
that's not acceptable, is it? You can't do that.
You can't take your players off the field. You can't. But they chose to.
I don't know the laws of the game. Like, at that point, shouldn't the referee say, well, if you're walking off the field, you forfeit and it's over and Morocco win? Like, isn't that what he's supposed to do? I don't know.
I'm unsure of the exact protocol, but it would seem that would be the direction. But at least Sadio Mane has still such a captain's leadership iconic role that he was like, guys, like, this is not right. We have to get back on the field. But then it leads into now the huge conspiracy surrounding his conversation with leadership of Morocco on the walk back, and then subsequently his like quick little handover face conversation with Mendy, which leads to the Panenka, which leads to then the miss, which leads to Mendy catching the ball, which leads to
hold on.
potentially going down the road.
The next bit of this is they then come out and take the penalty. So there's two elements of the penalty, which Dunny is alluding to. Number one is that he does a Panenka, Brahim Diaz, which is just wild. And if we take it on face value first, it's an incredible decision. It's a wild decision. It's, in the end, a bad decision.
It's iconic status forever.
You're never
like
gonna forget
mic
this.
drop type of goal if you score it.
The world will never forget this. The football world will never forget this. There'll be people who don't watch football this morning who have seen this.
Be like, the stones on this kid to score that pen on a Panenka?
But just to contemplate, I know he's been good in the tournament and all that, but to contemplate this in that scenario, and I feel bad for him, because what Senegal did, I think, at this point was totally unacceptable. No matter how unjust it all was, he's had to wait 17 minutes odd on the field in this drama to get ready for it, which makes the decision even more insane.
You know what we call that in the States for field goal kickers in football?
What?
Ice the kicker.
They've iced the kicker.
Oh, they've iced the kicker.
I've seen that in a movie.
Yeah.
They've iced the kicker. The kicker was iced. Brahim Diaz was fully iced.
Yeah.
He takes the Panenka, and I knew this. I was working on the game. Edouard Mendy's very good at this. He did this to Sergio Aguero when Sergio Aguero was going for, as I recall, it was a record-breaking goal that was seemed to be at the end with Aguero, and it was like his 260th or something for City. I forget now, 250th.
Yep.
And he tried the Panenka, and Mendy just stood there. He's very good at stopping these. Has done it before against one of the best strikers.
And he was leaning, and he got back up and caught it. Yeah,
because he just sort of like there's just something in his style which means he's good at stopping these. A bit like
100%.
Quiven Keller's good at these. And so you would never try it if you'd done any research in it. So he's missed it. But then, ba-ba-da, 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 ba-ba-da. Was it a conspiracy? Did Brahim Diaz, was he a bit like, oh, I'm not too sure this should have been given, and so he passed the ball to Mendy? That's a conspiracy theory doing the rounds, to which Mendy has responded, saying, quote, did Brahim miss the penalty on purpose? Of course not. Be serious. Do you really think that with 1 minute left, and a country that's been waiting for 50 years for a title, we can reach some sort of agreement? He wanted to score, and I deserve credit for stopping him. That's all. Why is Edouard Mendy lying to us about this definite conspiracy?
Well, let me follow that up. Here's Brahim Diaz's statement. My soul hurts. I've dreamed of this title thanks to all the love you've given me, every message, every show of support that made me feel I wasn't alone. I fought with everything I had, with my heart above all else. Yesterday, I failed. I take full responsibility. I apologize from the bottom of my heart. It will be hard for me to recover because the wound will not heal easily, but I will try. Not for myself, but for everyone who believed in me and everyone who have suffered with me. I will keep going forward until one day I can give you all the love back and become a source of pride for my Moroccan people. Tony Mule and I were talking about this on Sirius on Counterattack when the whole conspiracy theory came up. And I said, there's not a world in which Brahim Diaz is going to do this.
No.
Because number one, you're the hero forever. Number two, the fact that you dropped the stones to do a Panenka to win AFCON at home in front of the Moroccan fans in the dying moments is a forever reference point. And now it's going to be for the wrong reasons. And finally, why would you ever want to be the fall guy? Like, no chance. No chance whatsoever. So in all of this, there's only one thing I'll ask you to do, Tom. Is at the end of this recording, just go back and check the feet of Mendy when the penalty's taken. Okay. And I would just like for you to wonder to yourself, is both feet on the line?
No.
Or is a foot on the line?
Are you joking? I hadn't seen that.
I'm just saying, go watch the Panenka again.
Oh, no. Is that right? Oh, I've not seen that. Is there a second pair of boots on the grassy knoll?
I mean,
what's happened here?
Just go take a look. I mean, if it's there, if it's not, whatever.
All right, I'm going to look. I hadn't seen it. But I'm excited to know there's another element to this amazing game that you found. So there's that, right? No way he did it on purpose. However, it was so bad, people can be convinced of a conspiracy, right? So that's where we are. We go to extra time. Now, there's a sidebar on this, which we'll do now, actually, which I mentioned earlier on. The ball boys... or ball assistants have been running onto the field and stealing the goalkeeper's towel. The Moroccan ball boys have been stealing Mendy's towel. During the game, Hakimi threw the towel behind the advertising hoarding. At one point, Diouf had to go back there and get the towel back for the goalkeeper. As this goes on, the sub-keeper for Senegal, whose name I do have in my notes here, which I need to find.
Mori Diaw.
He comes out, and he is then...
Or is it Diouf? I think it's Yevhen Diouf.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yes. So Yevhen Diouf comes out, Well, I think plays for Marseille, but I need to double check that. But he's standing there, so he's a proper, like, played in Europe, proper goalkeeper. Like, he's not just some sort of, I've never played in a major tournament before, get him out there to do a job. Proper keeper's come out and has gone like, right, I've got to protect the towel here. A player stands in front of him from Morocco, whose name I don't know, but he's standing in front of him, staring at him, doing.
And
by
the way, you're
job.
nowhere near. You're not allowed to be anywhere near the post.
And no one is moving him.
No.
No one comes over to say anything. No one comes to move him. They just let it slide, which is insanity. But then the ball boy stuff is even worse. So Mendy comes over to get his towel. He gets it off Diouf and gets it back. Suddenly, 4 ball boys converge, like we're watching 28 weeks later, and start to rip the towel out of his hands. At one point, Diouf sort of falls over or stumbles to the ground. I'm not quite sure how he gets there. But the ball boy is then trying to nick it off him whilst he's then being dragged on the floor because he's holding this towel. Like a child holding onto their favourite toy because I want to put them to bed, but you can't take this because it lights up in the night.
It's like the Demogorgon taking all the elementary school kids in Stranger Things.
Yes, it does feel like we're in the Upside Down here. Look at you with your cultural references. Just incredible. And there's another bit where the ball boys are literally chasing him, running backwards around the side of the field, while some fat bloke in a suit looking like a budget bouncer from a crap club in Coventry is also chasing around. Like, what is happening?
It's amazing.
Here?
Yeah.
Why is this allowed? And also, what happens then? Because I thought like Diouf might just pop this guy.
That's what I'm thinking. Why didn't you punch anybody?
Punch him. Like, the kids, fine. They're children. There's a funny bit where, like, as a girl ball attendant, ball girl, whatever, she turns around and she's on camera, clearly going to the people behind her. What the fuck? Like, sorry, Tim. That's the right. Sorry. And, like, she can't believe what's happening. Yeah. She's stunned by it. But then the 4 ball boys, I think it was 4 boys that were doing it, are all trying to actively get involved in the play.
Just mayhem.
I think this is the worst thing of all of it for me.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, I'm watching, and again, I was like you because it's on BN Sports here, so I don't have BN Sports, the house that Ray Hudson built a long time ago, with their La Liga coverage. I don't have it. So immediately, where do I go? I go to social media. I go to Twitter, X, whatever, and I'm watching these scenes, and I'm like, where, like, who's in charge? Like, who's in charge?
Who's in charge?
It's like a Sunday game. It's like a literal Sunday pickup game where everything is completely out of control. And like, there's no security. There's like, where's AFCON officials in all of this? Like, and by the way, for Diouf not to punch anyone is incredible in this moment. Yeah. Like, it just the physical threat in all of these like situations and the fans like going like, I don't even know. Like, I've never seen anything like it. I don't remember seeing something at this level like really just completely crumble to this level.
Right, 2 other quick bits, and then we'll wrap up the bonus show, because I could have done 6 hours on this, so we tried to keep it tight, and I've already failed. The winning goal is incredible. What an incredible goal from Papa Gay, who breaks away in extra time.
Killed the Spiders.
30 minutes late. What a strike that is.
Yeah. I mean, it's an incredible goal to finish off the game. But that being said, it was only 4 minutes into extra time.
Yeah,
there were still 16 minutes, and Mendy comes off with 2 incredible saves, and Morocco had opportunities to level the scoreline. I listen. I think in the big scheme of things, it doesn't change any of what our expectations are for Senegal and Morocco to be major players in the Summer World Cup here in the United States. But in this moment, it's more about the craziness of how we got to the final and how Senegal ends up winning as the reference point, and all of the duncethery that comes along with it, as opposed to, hey man, there was some incredible footballing moments with the ball at their feet from both of these teams.
Yeah, it was actually a really interesting competitive game and a really good tight final. And extra time was end to end and
wide
sort
open.
of mental in like thick rain. All of it was there, and it's getting overshadowed by everyone's just ridiculous duncethery and outrageous behaviour. And on that, whistle goes, Senegal have won it, Morocco are crestfallen, loads of people have left because there's been fighting in the stands and whatnot. And, I mentioned earlier on there's been some reports of like, I spoke to someone who's there who was quite literally involved in like, Moroccan fans, people, punters, whatever, are literally trying to get at Senegalese commentators for whatever it was they were saying. And I've experienced that. We were at the Eintracht Frankfurt West Ham Europa League semi-final, where some colleagues from Germany were getting sort of attacked by West Ham fans. I think that's maybe too big a word, but they were getting like interfered with during the commentary, which is unacceptable. I've been accosted. I know it's happened to you previously as well. At the FA Cup final, Man City Watford, I basically had to like physically push somebody off me whilst I was doing the commentary because I was not getting protected by the stewards. And whilst talking to multiple countries doing the show, I had to shove some guy away from me because he was screaming at me and trying to get at me. And just unacceptable. I find that very
crazy.
That kind of thing, totally unacceptable. But in the post, two quick bits. Number one, Pape Thiaw, the head coach of Senegal, basically gets booed out of his post-match press conference by the mainly Moroccan press. There's also an ongoing tete-a-tete between the two coaches. The Moroccan coach, whose name I've forgotten, calls him shameful. And then the best bit and last bit on this was Brahim Diaz having to get his Golden Boot award. And he goes up to Gianni Infantino, who I think has now had taken it off him and given it to Trump. I'm not sure. But he basically was like getting his Golden Boot. And Infantino was like, come on, buddy, it's okay. It's okay.
Give him a weird hug.
Have a little smile. It's okay. And he was like just devastated whilst getting the award. I'm laughing, but it's so cruel. But it was just all of it. It was cinema.
Yeah. Incredible stuff, man. Another AFCON final. And it'll be interesting to see because I think I read right before we started recording that Morocco has issued, I don't know if it was a lawsuit or it was an official type of, what's the right word for that? They've written to FIFA and tried to file something with regards to how this all happened. And in particular, it's about Senegal leaving the field and over those 17 minutes, what the cause and effect was. And I think financially, they're looking for some type of compensation for that whole situation and or some type of responsibility to be laid at the feet of Senegal. But it'll be incredible to see how FIFA kind of, I don't know, walks this tightrope through what was going to be an incredible minefield that they're going to have to navigate.
Yeah, it's they've complained to the Confederation of African Football, obviously CAF, and they've released a statement, CAF, saying they condemn the unacceptable behaviour of some players and officials, but the horse has bolted. The time to get control of the game was during the game, and they didn't. But amazing. Would we have done 20 minutes on this if it just finished 1-0 to Senegal? No, we wouldn't. So I hope when the AFCON final comes around again in 18 months before it goes to every 4 years, like it probably should be anyway, I hope next time's final is as crazy as this one. Because you got me. You got me. You hooked me in with your nonsense, AFCON, and God bless you for it. Right, that's our bonus episode. Subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Spotify, subscribe on Apple, do all those things, and the full podcast is coming out tomorrow, I guess. I don't know. I don't write the schedule. We'll see you next time.